Here's a question nobody asked you in school, but probably should have. What if the single most important skill for success wasn't in your resume, your network, or your talent, but in your mindset? And no, I don't mean just thinking positively or slapping a smile on failure. I'm talking about rewiring the very structure of your brain to unlock grit, creativity, focus, and unshakable resilience. Because science says it's not magic, it's neuroplasticity. Chapter: The Impact of Mindset. Absolutely, Vinicio. Here's a bold, electrifying, and scientifically grounded script for your next video. The secret weapon for success: cultivating a powerful mindset. It opens with a powerful hook, blends science with storytelling, and leads the viewer straight into a call for action and transformation. Let's begin. Chapter: The secret weapon for success: cultivating a powerful mindset. Here's a question nobody asked you in school, but probably should have. What if the single most important skill for success wasn't in your resume, your network, or your talent, but in your mindset? And no, I don't mean just thinking positively or slapping a smile on failure. I'm talking about rewiring the very structure of your brain to unlock grit, creativity, focus, and unshakable resilience. Because science says it's not magic, it's neuroplasticity. Chapter: The Impact of Mindset. Let's get this straight. Your thoughts are not just invisible whispers. They are electric signals, carving neural highways in your brain. And every thought you repeat, whether it's "I'm not good enough" or "I'll figure this out," is sculpting your mental terrain. Neuroscience has a name for it: neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change, adapt, and rewire itself. Think empowering thoughts? You build resilience, optimism, problem-solving strength. Keep looping negative beliefs? You reinforce stress, fear, and limitation. Let's take Dr. Carol Dweck's groundbreaking work. She found that people with a growth mindset, who believe they can improve with effort, actually grow stronger neural connections for learning and perseverance. Those with a fixed mindset, their brains literally shut down in the face of challenge. This isn't philosophy. It's physics, chemistry, your biology evolving with belief. So the question isn't just, what do you think? It's, what are your thoughts teaching your brain to become? Mindset and goal achievement. Here's the truth most high achievers eventually learn the hard way. Your goals don't fail because of lack of ambition. They fail because of your internal dialogue when things get hard. A powerful mindset is the fuel behind your goals. When you hit resistance, do you see it as failure or feedback? Do you shrink into excuses or expand into curiosity? Studies show that those with a growth mindset are more likely to set bold goals, more likely to persist through difficulty, and ultimately far more likely to achieve lasting success. And on the flip side, a fixed mindset invites the inner critic to the driver's seat. I'm not cut out for this. I'm too late. What if I fail? That's not doubt. That's sabotage dressed in logic. But here's the shift. You can challenge those thoughts. You can train your mind to work for you, not against you. Let me show you how. Cultivating a growth mindset. Here's the beautiful thing about a growth mindset. You don't need to be born with it. You don't need perfect conditions to develop it. You build it like a muscle. And the first rep starts with reframing. Reframe challenges as learning opportunities when your instinct says, "This is too hard, I'm not good at this." Pause, breathe, and flip the script. This is exactly how I get good at this. Because growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in that tight, gritty, awkward space where your ego wants to bail, but your vision leans in. Growth mindset is choosing to stay in the discomfort long enough to learn from it. Embrace failure as a feature, not a flaw. Most of us were raised to avoid failure like the plague. Red ink on tests, public embarrassment. That sting of not enough. But here's the truth. Failure isn't a verdict. It's data. It's the clearest form of feedback you'll ever get. People who win big, they've simply failed more, faster, deeper, and more often because they keep showing up. They don't ask, "What does this say about me?" They ask, What can this teach me? Start seeing every failure as a teacher in disguise. Practice self-compassion. You can't bully yourself into greatness. Shame doesn't accelerate growth, it paralyzes it. So instead of beating yourself up for falling short, ask, how would I speak to a friend going through this? Then speak to yourself the same way. Self-compassion is not softness. It's fuel. It keeps you in the game long enough to actually transform. Learn from others without comparing. Here's the key. Be a student, not a shadow. Watch people who are where you want to be, not to feel small, but to feel inspired. Ask yourself, what habits are they using that I could try? How do they respond to setbacks? What mindset do they seem to live in? A growth mindset craves feedback, seeks mentorship, and welcomes the mirror. Not because you're lacking, but because you're learning. Mindset in action. Strategies for success. It's one thing to understand mindset, but to live it? That takes practice, repetition, ritual. Let's turn your growth mindset from a concept into a daily rhythm. The power of affirmations. This isn't just woo-woo talk. It's neuroscience. Words activate parts of the brain that shape your reality. And when you say something enough times, with emotion and belief, your brain starts wiring it in as truth. Try these. I am evolving, even when I can't see it yet. My effort is never wasted, it's building my future. Every challenge I face grows my capacity. Say it. Own it. Let your future self speak through your present words. Daily gratitude practice. Want to rewire your brain for optimism? Start counting what's going right. Studies show that journaling just 3 things you're grateful for each day increases serotonin and dopamine levels, reduces stress, and improves focus and emotional resilience. It shifts your lens from scarcity to abundance. When you start your day with gratitude, you teach your mind, there is always something working in my favor. Even in chaos, even in uncertainty, there's always light. Mindfulness meditation. In a distracted world, the most rebellious act is presence. Even 5 minutes of breath-focused stillness can strengthen your prefrontal cortex, your brain's focus and planning center, lower cortisol, the stress hormone, and increase your ability to respond rather than react. It's not about clearing your mind, it's about training your awareness. Mindfulness creates the mental space where your growth mindset can thrive. You stop identifying with the storm and start becoming the sky. These aren't just habits. They're anchors, pulling you back to your power again and again. Living a fulfilling life. Here's the thing most people never realize. Your mindset is more than just a tool for hitting goals. It's the lens through which you experience your entire life. The way you think shapes the way you feel. And the way you feel? That shapes how you show up for the people you love, the work you do, and the future you're building. A growth mindset doesn't just make you more productive. It makes you more present, more grounded, more you. It gives you the freedom to say, I am not my mistakes. I am not stuck. I am becoming, and that's enough. And science backs it up. Studies show that people with a growth mindset report higher levels of happiness, deeper relationships, greater resilience when life throws curveballs, and a deeper sense of purpose, because they're not living to prove anything. They're living to learn everything. This isn't about chasing perfection. It's about living in progress. It's about waking up and realizing that everything you've ever needed to grow, to evolve, to succeed is already inside you. You don't need permission. You need perspective. You don't need more time. You need more truth. And the truth is, you're capable of so much more than you've given yourself credit for. You just need to train your mind to believe it, long enough for your reality to catch up. Chapter 2. Final takeaway plus call to action. So here's your invitation. Not just to think differently, but to live differently. Today, take one mindset habit, just one. Write an affirmation. Journal a win. Pause to breathe. Reframe a failure. Or simply say to yourself, this is my moment to grow. And then tomorrow, do it again. Because over time, those tiny shifts will rewire your world. Not because life suddenly gets easier, but because you get stronger. So don't just admire growth from a distance. Step into it, own it, live it, Your next level? It's not waiting for more talent or more luck. It's waiting for a more powerful mindset. Let's build it. Let's become it. Let's go.